extruding to a normal. In this video, we are basically going to change the axis for extrusion for finer control. So let's hop over into Blender and play with that now. So the first thing that we can do here is we can correct my obviously deliberate mistake of this extrusion into our model. Now fortunately it looks like it has gone down and through the centre of our model. So how do we make sure that we can pull it back out and line it up here? Well, there are a couple of ways to do that, but one of the easiest ways is once we have these 6 faces selected, they combine all as one to generate a common normal, which is actually the same as the vertex normal in the middle here. It'll be pointing upwards, so towards us. Now down here with the 3D manipulator widget that we've played with in the past, you can change that from where it says global to a couple of other things, one of which is normal. Now if we change that to normal, and surprise surprise we can't see the blue one anymore because it's pointing right at us. So the normal coming out of this vertex in the middle is facing right towards us. So if we rotate round we can see there it is. And what we can do at this point is we can literally pull that back up and that will be perfectly in line. So we can move it up or down as much as we want. Now bowling balls have holes going inwards, so going out is no good. But what we can do at this point is go ahead and select the snapping tool, select the, I don't really care which one we do it to, we can just align it with a face, and this time when we move it backwards and forwards we can hover over a particular face we want to align it with. I don't think face is actually going to be the right one in this case. I'm pretty sure that is now aligned, but I can't be 100% sure unless it's really to a vertex. Let's do vertex instead. So again, let's move it up and down, and to snapping, that is definitely the right place now. Now because we've moved it all the way down and brought it back again, that would have produced a series of doubles. So before we do anything else, I'm going to now push it into our model to a certain level. And that is 1 blender unit. So let's push that in now by 1 blender unit. So that is -1 in the z-axis. And I'm going to turn snapping off. There we go. So if I type -1, have I lost the opportunity to do that? Yes, I have. So let's grab that and move it in the z-axis. And remember that will now be moving in the z-axis. That is normal, because that's what we've set. In fact, at this point, I'm just going to undo to here. So we're going to move that, not extrude in this case. The other ones we will extrude. But this has already been extruded, it's just on top of one another again. In the z-axis by -1, and that should go inside our model, and it hasn't. See, it's moved in the wrong z-axis. So along here have we got the orientation. So in the operator panel there is orientation that's currently set to global. So because we use the shortcut keys, it's assumed something different to what's down here. So if we change orientation back to normal, it will go in, and in this case exactly what we want, in towards the center of our sphere. Okay, so there we go. That's how you do that. Let's give you a challenge to do the other two. That doesn't look quite the right depth, so I'm just going to increase that a little to 1.5, and because I haven't gone off of this yet, I can set that Z constraint there to -1.5. I think that will be better. So let's go and do a challenge. It's challenge time. I'd like you to create the remaining finger holes. So use the circles that we have created, extrude them along the normal Z axis, and then set them to a depth of 1.5 blender units. Pause the video now and give that a go. Okay guys, welcome back. Let's hop over into Blender and complete our bowling ball. Okay, so we've successfully done that bowling ball there. Let's go up to the top here, and I can see straight away we've got one thing to do to our circles. We need to inset them a little before we actually do anything else. So let's go ahead and do that straight away. We can grab them both so they inset by the same amount and inset them. It doesn't have to be much, and there we go. So now we're ready to do this. I know the extrusion itself will not work if we try and do them both at once, because it will take a normal that's between these 2 points instead of the points themselves. So we're going to have to select the faces themselves. It's selected on normal, and I can just extrude, make sure we are extruding, and start to push it in. Now I can see down in the lower left it says it's moving on the normal. You can see that straight away. It's done that by default, which is great, and we can set that immediately to -1.5. There we go, that's inside our pin. So let's select these ones here as well, and it was set to normal here. So if we press E, is this also going to extrude along the normal? This is brilliant. And let's set that to -1.5. Now there is a chance that these two will cross one another, so there we go. So a design problem with our spec straight away is that the holes themselves, these two, as they move in, are going to hit one another, but it doesn't look like the overlap is that much. So in this case, I'm going to simply pull one of these back out until they're not touching anymore. So I'm going to grab that bottom, I'm going to move it in the Z axis, but not the global Z axis. I don't want that, I want to move it on this axis here. So I'm just going to grab that instead and just pull it up ever so slightly. I can't see what I'm doing. We don't want geometry crossing, that's bad. And there we go. So a consideration there, if someone gives you a spec that has a fault in it, do mention it to the person as quickly as possible. I've already mentioned it to myself. Let's do the final thing now and hop into object mode and look around our model, and that looks absolutely fine. In fact, that doesn't look too far apart now, that looks absolutely fine. Right, so the final thing that we will do on this bowling ball is give it some colour. It's looking a bit bland at the moment. So let's go into our material properties and add a new material slot, create a new material, and I'm going to call it very imaginatively bowling ball. Now I'm going to scroll down here on diffuse. I'm going to change that. What colour should I have it? Why not? Sort of yellow, bright yellow colour. Great. So there we go. We've got our bowling ball all coloured in. I'm going to make sure I remember to save that as well. Very important. And that's ready to use wherever we want to use it. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I've seen bowling balls and they're sparkly, or they've got textures on them, or words, etc. Don't worry about that for the moment. In the next couple of sections, we'll be going into much more detail with our models. But do remember, the skills that you've learned so far, you can now go back and practice, colour in the models that you've already made and saved in your project folders. So that's great, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care.